Very interesting. What's the next question that came in from the website?
We got one from Fender Bender. He said, how do you think rehab would have helped such stars that we've lost as Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Jim Morrison? How do you think they could have been helped, or what do you think could have been done?
It's a whole different era now. I know some of their peers, and some of it's funny. I think about that a lot. That's a really good question. I think that generation, it was going to be pretty hard for them to accept this abstinence and this new way of life. There's not very many from the '60s generation that have really crossed over. Some of them, I'm surprised. I did a movie with somebody that's very popular from that era, and they were taking mushrooms. They were like 65 years old and taking mushrooms. I was like,
no kidding.
I can't believe it. I was like, wow. So I don't know, that generation, the Hendrix Morrison generation, really believed that drugs were freedom. So I don't know how they would have done now. I can only go by their peers. Their peers are still taking drugs, still smoking pot at 65, 68 years old.
Well, the other thing...
Richard's still drinking and doing coke and smoking pot.
And Bob, something that's very interesting too, and I've always said this, it wasn't fashionable to even go to Betty Ford until Elvis died. Elvis's death, I feel that Elvis is the supreme rock star because he taught us everything. He taught us how to do live shows. He even taught us how to die like a rock star. And because of him, immediately afterwards, it became fashionable to go to rehab because, there really wasn't a network to save these people prior to that, I feel. Do you feel that way?
It was Betty Ford who started it all. She actually got sober at a naval hospital in Long Beach with naval officers, and because of her husband's access to good drug and alcohol treatment, she realized once she got sober, like women friends of mine that are addicted to drugs and people I know and people from different walks of life are not going to be able to just go either to the Salvation Army or to this Marine base or this naval base. So that's why she started the Betty Ford Center, and that's what then brought the idea that normal citizens, everyday people can go to drug and alcohol treatment.
Correct, yeah.
Before it was just homeless people or armed services people, really.
Correct. We've got more coming in from the...
Yeah, we got another one sort of back on that topic we were talking about, alcoholics and brain function. We got one from Cat Girl again. What do you think, or what happens to an alcoholic if they've been drinking heavily since an age of like 12? How much permanent brain damage is done once they're an adult? Can that be reversed?
That's got to be
If you have permanent brain damage, it happens very rare. It happens with crystal meth and long-term marijuana use. The brain, here's the thing. Whatever anybody's saying about the brain, we don't know hardly anything about the brain. Neuroscience is in its infancy. But there's just general ideas, and what you go by is examples. Now, 12-year-olds starting drinking heavily at 12 years old, that means you go into adolescence, that developmental time in your life of how you interact with peers in the environment in a clouded state. So you never really grow emotionally into adulthood. So when you get sober at 19 or 20 or 22, you're still like this 13-year-old, and that's how you view the world, and that's how you see the world. And it's really not so much about the brain chemistry, but about the person's emotional development.
Okay, Bob, and we're heading quickly to a commercial break again. I got to just ask you this one question. This came in on our Facebook, and the comment was, unless you have money, there is no help for you and the people you love. Is that a true statement? Is it a social class thing?
Sadly, it's getting more and more so. No, it's actually an HMO thing. Even up until the mid-'90s, anybody who had health insurance could really get good drug and alcohol treatment. And slowly but surely, they've peeled that off to that it only applies to the biological area, meaning the physical addiction. So you can go on Blue Cross HMO health insurance and get detoxed off of crystal meth in 2 days, but then they're just going to kick you right back out to the street and back out to home where everyone you know is a crystal meth addict, and everything you think about and everything you see and your brain hasn't healed and you're in a mess. So it's almost 100%. The way the HMO system is set up now, it's 100% failure. there's just no way to get sober in 2 days or 4 days or 7 days.
Correct. So it is almost a money issue. We do have to head to another commercial break. You have to head to your movie premiere. Is it possible?
I'm so sorry. I'll come back and answer more questions.
That's perfect. And what I'd like to do is, Kim Marie will get a hold of you and we'll schedule something really as soon as we can, because this is a topic. There's a lot more issues that I'd like to talk about, and this is a topic that doesn't just affect the rich, obviously. This is a huge plague in our country. You're a wonderful person.
Let me tell you, the HMOs want you to be at home taking prescription drugs rather than cost them $30,000 to maybe not be on drugs at all.
Right, and I agree with you, and we're going to get into all this. Enjoy your movie premiere. Thank you so much for the time, and we will talk to you again real soon, my friend, okay?
Okay, have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Safe travels.
We're going to head to a commercial break, folks. Stick around. More Hurting on the X.